it's Monica with hashtag Goals English, and this is, how do you pronounce world? So this has a similar ending if you watch my video with girl, but now we have world. Just like girl, it's a L, but then we add a D at the end. So even though it's spelled O-R, the sound is still the same as E-R, I-R, or U-R. Just like bird, teacher, girl, that sound. So that's the most important in this one. Like you're biting down on something. Right? Not ah, or if you pull your tongue too far, go ah, right? You have your tongue down, and then it pops up, and it maybe pulls back a little bit, but not too far. If you pull too far, you go ah, right? You want So your tongue is down, it goes And so it's kind of floating in the mouth. And the jaw's pretty closed. So let's try that with a W. W. Regular W, mouth rounded. W. And that's a little round, but not as round as a W, right? Were. It's a little flatter. Were. Then we have our dark L. Ol. So that dips down here. Ol. And back up to the L. Ol. Different than a beginning L. Light, love. Doesn't have that love, right? No. Love is a light or clear L. Dark L is at the end of a syllable. Ol. And then add the D. World. If you don't get it the first time, that's totally fine. Just start listening for it, right? World. Later in the video, we'll compare it to some similar sounding words. First, let's do some sentences. It's a great big world. It's a great big world. World. It almost sounds like one sound by the time you're saying it that fast. It's a great big world. Strange sound. This and girl. Whirl. This is the world we live in. You can drag it out for emphasis. This is the world we live in. Or you can snap right through it. This is the world we live in. A lot of Americans are mumblers, right? We don't always talk so clearly like American English teachers. This is the world we live in. Live in. World we live in. This is the world we live in. Where in the world are you? Hello, where in the world are you? What? This is the world we live in, am I right? She studied the world wars. Wars is another tough one. Wars. Or. It's more of a or sound, not a r, war, not like car. War. Or. Just like I wore some clothes. World war, I wore some clothes. She studied the world wars. What in the world is going on here? If you go too forward in the mouth, you sound more British. What in the world is going on here? Right? Middle of the mouth. What in the world? What in the world is going on here? So let's compare it to some other words. I am being silly. Whirl. So even though world has an OR spelling and whirl has an IR spelling, it's the same sound, just like ER, teacher, world, world. The IPA gave us something a little different. It emphasized the vowel sound before the L a little more with those IPA symbols. So if you're looking at that and you're like, wait, why? It's making it almost more like two syllables. Whirl. Give it a whirl. So it's a little more dragged out than world, where it just kind of is all smushed in one sound. World versus whirl. If we drag it out, world versus whirl. So it has more of a dip. Give it a whirl. Whirl around the world. Word. So same idea. OR still has that sound. We're adding just the D, skipping the L. Word. What's the word? It's like, what's up? What's happening, right? Are we going to the movies? What's the word? Oh, what's this word? Misread my own line. What's this word? That makes more sense. But hey, you just learned some slang. So I kind of almost reversed it. So we have world with RLD, erled, and then we have word, no L, and then we have were, no L or D. Were. Just that sound. Where were you? Where were you? So again, let's go down the list. World, whirl, word, were. So these are all really similar. I'm going to do it one more time slower. World, whirl, word, were. So you notice that even though those last two have that it's a little clearer sounding because we're not going into that sound with that L, right? World versus word. Okay, so let's do a practice paragraph using the word world. I'll read it through once. There's a phrase that says, "It's a great big world out there." That's the truth. The world is huge and inspires artists and musicians to think of things greater than themselves. Just look at how many songs have the word world in the title. Wild world, top of the world, we are the world, a whole new world, change the world, run the world, girls. The list could go on and on. Do you have a favorite song about the world? So let's go through this and point out some points of pronunciation and linking. So we have linking here, and this sounds like a Z. There's a phrase, F sound, phrase, and Z again. There's a phrase that says, stop T, that. There's a phrase that says, it's a great, stop T, great big world out there. There's a phrase that says, it's a great big world out there. That's the truth. The S drags over a little bit. That's the truth. And keep in mind, T before R sounds like a CH. Truth. Truth. That's the truth. The world is huge. Soft G sounds like a J. Huge. The world is huge and inspires artists and musicians to think of things greater, flap T, sounds like D, greater than themselves. Okay, this links a little bit too, and inspires artists and musicians. Okay, I'm going to go through this again slowly. Repeat after me. There's a phrase that says, it's a great big world out there. This is also a stop T. Basically, any ending T will be a stop T. There's a phrase that says, it's a great big world out there. That's the truth. The world is huge and inspires artists and musicians to think of things greater than themselves. Okay, second paragraph. Just look at how many songs have the word world in the title. So word, just like world, has that ER sound. So it's not ward or world, it's word and world. Just look at so stop T. Just look at how many songs have the word world in the title. This T, flap T, sounds like D. Title, title. Wild world, top of linking, top of the world. We are the world. A whole new world, so this is an H sound, whole, a whole new world, change the world, run the world, girls. And I have another video about how to pronounce girls. If that's a difficult word for you, girls with a Z, girls. The list could go on and on and on and on. Do you have a favorite? So it's not favorite, it's favorite song about the world? Do you have a favorite song about the world? That last paragraph one more time. Just look at how many songs have the word world in the title. Wild World, Top of the World, We Are the World, A Whole New World, Change the World, Run the World, Girls. The list could go on and on. Do you have a favorite song about the world? All right, let's do this one more time all the way through. Follow me and mimic me exactly as I go, even my stress and intonation. There's a phrase that says, "It's a great big world out there." That's the truth. The world is huge and inspires artists and musicians to think of things greater than themselves. Just look at how many songs have the word world in the title. Wild World, Top of the World, We Are the World, A Whole New World, Change the World, Run the World, Girls. The list could go on and on. Do you have a favorite song about the world? All right, that's it for now. Make sure to subscribe and leave any comments or questions. Any other words you want me to do videos on, I will do that for you. Till next time, keep practicing, friends.